Welcome back to another live stream. How is everyone doing? It is Thursday night and we are getting closer to the end of the year. Well, technically it is already the end of the year and Christmas is coming. Have you guys done your Christmas shopping? As usual, before we dive into the topic, just want to make sure that the live stream is working fine, that you guys can hear the audio, the microphone is working, there's no echo, no distortion, is it too loud, or maybe you can't even hear anything or you can't see anything. Let me know while I drink some coffee. I'll wait for some feedback. Coffee is live. Coffee. We have so many activities in the chat already. Oh my goodness. Thanks, Fapagamuka. Thanks, Gregory. I guess everything is working fine. Let's say hi to some people first. As usual, I will respond to members' chat first. If you are a member, your name will be highlighted in green and there's a star badge next to your name. But if you're not a member, don't worry. I'll get to every single chat. I'll just respond to you a little bit later, all right? Gregory says, Wolfie is here from the start. Yes, Wolfie, I noticed. Hi, Wolfie. Hey, Gregory, how are you? Thanks for the prediction, Gregory. Audio and video will be A-OK here in Katy, in Texas. Alright, Capture says, hello, hey, how are you? Good to see you again. Gregory is talking about some discussion with the ongoing other people on the chat. Gregory says, when can I get that hat? It's custom made. I can't remember how much I paid for it. Maybe it's around just like $5 or $6 US. Oops! Something is not right with the capture card. I hope it doesn't happen again. The video feed just gets cut off. What can I do? I've already turned on the camera. I have already unplugged the cable and plug it in. The only thing left to do is to restart the whole thing. But that will be last resort. But never mind. Let's go on first. Hopefully it doesn't repeat. Thanks, Gregory. Hey, Yumi, how are you? You're here early today. Good to see you here. HPE, of course. VKM says from Wisconsin, US, getting ready for dangerous wind chills this weekend. Negative 30 or more. Wow, negative 30. That is scary. Hey, Wolfie, how are you? Good to see you here. And fellow shuttle enthusiasts. Roger says, hi, Robin from cold Massachusetts this morning. Wow, everywhere is getting cold, eh? It is winter. It's December already, right? Michael says, progress has been good so far, but the prices for newer bodies like the OM3 are at full-frame camera levels. That is true. I think they need to check on their pricing. Hey, like, I can get Z5 Mark III. No, Mark II, sorry. The Nikon Z5 Mark II. Today, there's like sales happening. Something like Black Friday sales in Malaysia to USD. How much can I get it for? Let's see. Around 1,003 US dollars. 1,003. Z5 Mark II. Nikon, new. With full Malaysia warranty and everything, right? New. I'm talking about unboxed. Like everything is totally new for 1,300 US dollars. That's crazy. Kamiyat Mariam says, good evening, Robin, everyone. As per topic, nope, not happy because no easy entry-level cameras for new users, no new pens. I really hope they make it out alive in 2026. I love this system, so cook. Well, we're not just talking about OM Digital Solutions, right? We're also talking about Panasonic. And when we talk about Micro Four Thirds, it's both Panasonic and OM Digital Solutions. Don't forget about Panasonic. Yeah? Uvi says, I'm off to the big city for some street photography. Well, good luck to you. Christmas goodies shopping. Wow, food. And to trade off some Minolta lenses and my Mickey 35 f2 for Nikon Z40 f2. Do you notice the feed being cut off? I'll try to fix that later. Let me reply to Wolfie first. The Mickey 35 f2 is quite large. I don't like that lens, but it's an excellent lens. I think it does really well. But the Nikon Z40 f2 is so much smaller. It's so much nicer to use. And I love that lens. I know some people in the chat have said they don't like the lens, but I'm okay with the lens. Good luck to the street photography. Have fun doing the shopping, Wolfie. I hope you get some good hunts as well as some nice street photos. And hope you come back with the Nikon 40 f2. Okay, the only thing I can do is to restart the computer. Let me think, what can I do? If I restart the computer and I connect back, I should be able to keep the stream running. Or maybe I just leave it because the feed just cuts on and off for a while, right? But let me just quickly turn on and off the camera just one more time. Hopefully it solves the problem. Let me just do that. That's a quick fix. Okay, I am back. Hopefully that solves the problem. All right. If it doesn't, then we may have to restart the computer. This side to the screen says, "Good morning, Robin, and we'll be watching from cold Boston." Wow, it's really cold everywhere. Hey, nice to see you again. This side towards the screen. Uvi says, "I do miss one nice capability of the Micro Four Thirds lenses that had since the first generation mirrorless and DSLR lenses. Excellent minimum focusing distance and close-up image quality." Yeah, you can go really close, right, without needing to switch over to a macro lens to get like almost macro-like images, right? That's really good. Hey Andrew, how are you? Nice to see you here. I hope you are having a good time. Yeah, I actually went to the N4 thing last Saturday, as I've mentioned, and yeah, it was interesting. I caught up with the boss, Steven. He came all the way from Penang, so it's nice to see Steven again. And I got to see the Sony A7 Mark V, as well as the Canon R6 Mark III. And fun fact, I discovered, I don't know if you know this, Andrew, or anyone else, from that N4 camera photo fair last weekend, I spoke to the Canon's product representative who was stationed there. I found out that the Canon, the new lens, the 45 f1.2, is made in Malaysia. Wow! I mean, I know that we already have some Canon products being made in Malaysia, like the Canon 40 f2.8 EF lens, the pancake lens, which is a full frame lens that was made in Malaysia. I didn't know the new lens, the 45 f1.2 RF lens, is made in Malaysia. So yay, go Malaysia! Photo CV says, "Sir Robin and all, tomorrow is after dark carol singing shoot. I've taken EPL7, EMA Mark II, but never OM1. I wonder why." No, I don't actually. So you actually just bring the EM1 Mark II and EPL7, right? Both cameras are excellent cameras. I'll show you later during photo sharing session why the EM1 Mark II is still so fantastic, right? Tomato says, "Good evening, Robin and all, from unbearably hot Perth, Australia, where everywhere else in the world, in the northern part, they're freezing. It's gonna get like super cold, but in Perth, it's like super, super, super hot, right?" It's the opposite. Ranker just says, "I'm going out into the 6 degrees Perth on Saturday." Shots come from safety. Nah, just kidding. I'll wear sunscreen. Yeah. Hey, gotta be careful. Hey, it's gonna be crazy, crazy hot. The feed cuts out from me. Yeah, hopefully this already solves the problem. I've already turned on and off the camera, unplugged the cable and plug in again. If that doesn't work, the only thing that can fix this is to restart the computer. I hope we don't have to do that. So far, so good, right? Yeah, it just cuts off for like 1 second and it comes back very quickly. So if you missed it, if you blink, you missed it, right? But if it happens very, very often, it gets really annoying. And I don't like the feeling that people are watching my live stream and, you know, it just suddenly just blacks out for like 1 second randomly for no reason. It just irks me, you know, like if I can fix it, I'll try to fix it, right? Yeah, it's minus 30 degrees Fahrenheit or Celsius. It's gonna be different, right? Yeah, it blinks in and out. I guess it's not too serious, but yeah. I mean, if I can fix it, I'll try to fix it. Let me say hi to a few more people before we get to the updates. Miguel says, "Hello everyone. Hey Miguel, nice to see you here." Fapagamuka, hey, good evening Robin, good evening to you too. Thanks for the update, Fapagamuka. Ufi says, "The Mickey is horrible at close-up shooting for indoors. I can't get close enough for portraits and for my puppy and doggy girls. The Nikon Z has an excellent 0.29 meters. Yeah, the Nikon lens is surprisingly not bad. It's not bad. I'm enjoying the 40 f2 lens quite a lot. It cuts off again. Do you guys see that? Just for that 1 second. Should I restart the whole thing? Since we are just at the start of the stream, right, might as well just try to restart the whole thing. Okay, let me just try to, let me see, how do I do this? See, it blacks out again. Okay, what should I do? Okay, let me just try to restart the whole thing. So yeah, hopefully everything goes well, right? So let's be right back. Are we streaming? I can't see if I'm streaming yet. Let me know if you guys can hear me. You guys can hear me and see me already? Am I back? Am I live? Hello, anyone in the chat? Thanks, Andrew. Appreciate that. I don't think it fixed the problem. I think I need to because just now when I was after I restarted and everything, it still blacks out a little bit. So I'm just gonna leave it as is. I'm very sorry. I really tried everything that I can do. The only thing left for me to do is to unplug the cable from the back from my computer and plug it back in, and that will require some effort because of the configuration of my room. It's very messy, it's very congested. I need to move furniture around to get to the back panel of my computer, and it's just gonna be too messy and it'll take some time. So for tonight, I apologize for the inconvenience or for the bad experience. If the feed just gets cut off for 1 to 2 seconds, it'll come back very quickly, I promise. I hope nothing else goes wrong. Alright, let's get back to the chat. I'll say hi to a few more people, and then yeah, we will start with the updates. Let's say hi. Let's see, where else did we miss? Yeah, let's go to the members first. Yeah, thanks, PhotoCB, appreciate that. First 5 seconds was good, thank you for that. We all need the whole song. Tona says, super interesting, I'll check the cable connection as well. No worries. Thanks, Roy and Capture, appreciate that. Andrew says, many in Malaysia should be cheaper for Malaysians, right? Unfortunately, really? Are you sure? Yes, okay, let's see. Canon 45. I thought it was quite cheap for Malaysia. USD launch price. So if you're looking at USD price, it's 469.99. So 470 lah. 470 to ringgit. So if you convert directly from the US, it's 1931. But here in Malaysia, retailing is 1899. So retail already is cheaper from direct conversion. And I mean, we all know that if you go to your favorite dealers or camera stores, you can ask for further discounts, right? It can be an extra 50, 400 ringgit. Like, seriously. So yeah, it's actually cheaper here in Malaysia. All right. Thanks, PhotoCB. I appreciate that. All right, where were we? I lost track of everything already. I hope I didn't miss too much. Sorry if I did. All right. So I replied to Miguel Vapangomuka already. I remembered. I replied to this side of the screen. Thank you so much. Yep, Manasa, I'm not happy with the high price. Yeah, I know. I agree with that as well. Micro Four Thirds price should be a little bit more competitive. Definitely agree with you. Goofy says, I'm very happy that Nikon Z 40 F2 used price has dropped in the last 2 weeks from 180 to 155 pounds. That is a very good deal. Definitely a very good deal. Yep, I already replied to this. Fajar says, are you totally satisfied with the top line camera from Micro Four Thirds? Are you asking me? I have answered that question many, many times, Fajar. Seems like you have not been watching this channel at all. So my question is, are you guys happy? So this stream is asking you guys, not me. If you're asking me to say it, I think 3 hours is not enough for me to voice out my answer to that, right? You guys don't want that. So yeah, alright, already. Coming out, Mario says, yeah, exactly, Panasonic, please cook, make the glass move. Yes, we need more glasses. Vcam says, love my Olympus OM gear, however, switched to a Canon R6 Mark II to shoot my barrel racing assignments, better resolution, larger sensor. I often shoot at 25,600 ISO. If you constantly need that high of an ISO number, then yes, the Canon R6 Mark II makes more sense, or a full frame camera makes more sense. Tony says, outdated sensors, only 20 megapixels, very expensive products, sometimes more expensive than similar full-frame products. By example, 150 to 600, it is more expensive than similar full-frame lenses. Yes, we already talked about the pricing. Definitely, they need to adjust the pricing and make it a lot more competitive to be more attractive in the marketplace, right? Agreed with that. Alpine says, I feel that Micro Four Thirds strength lays in its compactness. I can't understand why Olympus and Lumix are not taking advantage of this. I feel they are leaving compact street photography on the table. Yeah, it's like, let Fuji win, right? Let Ricoh and Fuji eat all the pie. We don't want to fight. Let them win. Like, seriously. Yes, restarting now. So, yeah, hopefully everything is okay now. Right, Yumi, thank you so much for the thanks for the feedback coming up my RAM. Thank you so much for Pergamoka. I appreciate that. Thank you so much, VKM. Asfar says, hi Robin. Hey Asfar, how are you? Nice to see you. Flatcap says, hi Robin. Hey, good to see you here. All right, I will pause the chat here. Yes, Nasi Tomato for tomato. I'll pause the chat here and start with the updates on what's happening in my life. Nothing much really. So last weekend there was the N4 camera photo fair, video fair thing. It was an in-house thing. It was just the camera store, but they do have brand representatives coming in and share the latest products. It's Fuji, they have the X33, Sony, they had the A7 Mark V, Canon, the R6 Mark III. So everyone brought the latest products and you can try whatever you want. Actually, the best-selling camera that day, it's not a surprise really, was Kodak Charmera. Yes, they have Kodak Charmera in stock, and like every 15 minutes or so, people will come in, at least during my visit, it was Saturday evening. People actually come in and will buy the Kodak Charmera. It was like selling like hotcakes, crazy, compared to other cameras. And that will be my next week's video topic. Why is Kodak Charmera so popular? If you watch next week's Monday's video. On Monday, last Monday, I released a new video, and it was actually the answer to the question that I posed a few months ago, which was never answered. I showed and shared some photographs. It was portraits of my beautiful friend Lily. I told you the camera. Did I tell you the camera? Maybe I didn't even say what camera it was. So it was taken with OM1 and a very old lens, the Zuko DSLR lens back in the 4/3 DSLR days. It was the Olympus 50 f2 macro lens. You need to use an adapter on Micro Four Thirds cameras to use that lens. And it works very well, at least on the OM1. I've tried it on the older cameras like EM1, even EM1 Mark II. It didn't work very well, but the OM1, the face detection with the human face and eye tracking, it worked quite well. At least I get like 60 to 70% hit rate. Maybe not 70%, I think it's more like 60, 65% hit rate. It's good enough. It's perfectly workable, usable, functional. I get some good shots. And the lens itself is known to be really good, super sharp, nice bokeh. It was a legendary lens for portraits. A lot of 4/3 DSLR users use that lens to shoot portraits. So that was on Monday. If you haven't seen that, please check it out. It was the answer to a question that I posted here on the live stream a few months back. It took some time. I intended to publish that video sooner, so apologies about that. Things got dragged on, like there were other more urgent videos like the Kodak Charmera and the 50 to 200 reviews. There are other more time-sensitive videos that I have to publish first before I come to this old lens, right? Who cares about old lens, really? I mean, it's like a 20 years old lens from the first generation 4/3 DSLR days. So it was quite fun doing that video. That was on Monday. And if you are in Malaysia, there will be an event happening in GMBB building in Bukit Bintang next week. So do check out this exhibition at GMBB. It's organized by Fuji Malaysia. And I'm not saying that, oh, I'm sponsored by Fuji or I support Fuji. No, I'm a photographer. I am independent. No one is paying me to say this. But whenever there's something photography related or camera event related, I'll do my best to promote them, whether it's from Sony, Fuji, Canon, or whoever. And this caught my attention because there's a photography exhibition involved. As a photographer, I always encourage people to see prints. I think photographs are meant to be seen as prints. So this exhibition is open to everyone, starting from 15 December, I think it's Monday next week, until 11th of January, so it's about 1 month. And throughout that 1 month of this photo exhibition organized by Fuji and GMBB, there will be corresponding activities like workshops, photo walks, or photography talks, photo sharing, and a lot of events happening, which they have not announced yet. The full list of activities are not published yet, the timetable and everything. I know that my friend Azul is going to do something. He's going to do a photo walk, and he will update me soon, and he'll publish on his own social media. I'm sure Fuji will publish on their social media as well, announcing all the events that is coming up very, very soon. So there will be a flurry of events or activities happening to coincide with this photo exhibition. So yeah, if you don't want to join any of the activities, that's fine, but I think it's worth checking out a photo exhibition. These are tightly curated shots by the ambassadors or people involved with Fuji. I think it's definitely worth going in and have a look, and going in with an open mind. Doesn't matter what camera or lens, doesn't matter if it's Fuji, if you don't use Fuji. A photograph is still a photograph. It doesn't really matter what camera or lens is being used. If it's a good photograph, it's a good photograph, right? And there's always something to learn if you go with an open mind and open heart. All right, I think that's it about my updates for this week. So topic for today is very simple. It's me asking you about what Micro Four Thirds have been doing this year in 2025, specifically now that the year has come to an end, and I don't think we'll have any more new announcements from OM Digital Solutions or Panasonic. Whatever that has been announced or released, they have already been released already. And if you look at OM Digital Solutions, they have launched quite a lot of products this year. There is the OM3 and OM5 Mark II. Right, they also have several lenses, 17 f1.8 Mark II, 25 f1.8 Mark II, updated with weather sealing. They also have 100 to 400 Mark II, updated with 5-axis sync IS, which I think is a massive update for those who don't want to spend ridiculously crazy money on, say, 150 to 400 Pro lens, right? If you're on a budget, if you want a long lens, I think 100 to 400 Mark II is the way to go. Then they also have the 50 to 200 f2.8 Pro, which I've just reviewed very, very recently. And I think OMG Solutions have been doing a lot this year. So are they doing enough? Are you happy with their progress? Are you happy with what we have in the market? If you are, let me know why. If you are not happy, then let me know what could have been done better, what OM Digital Solutions and Panasonic could have strategized better, and what do you want to see moving forward in 2026. Please share your thoughts. It's not about me. It's about what you think. If I am going to share my thoughts, I think 3 to 4 hours will not be enough. This will be like me rambling on and on and on about what Panasonic has not been doing, blah blah blah, and all these students should have done this. And let's not go there. It's Christmas season. Let's be happy. Let's be cheerful. And yeah, let me drink some coffee. I'll get to the chat. I think the camera is playing nice now. The video feed has not been cut off since I restarted. So far, so good. Andrew says, guess what? I just found today Kodak Camera has a knockoff sold by Milo, listed at the Carousel page. I just bought one, but directly from China. I bought one for like 45 ringgit. I specifically chose the yellow color one. I should receive it in like a month. So Milo has it on Carousel. Let me just have a quick search on Carousel based on Andrew's information. If my internet is loading. Milo. Okay. Let's see. I'm not sure if Milo doesn't show up though. I think it's probably Milo Trading, right? Aha. Okay, I'm opening up Milo. It says 2 ringgit. Really? Is that true? 2 ringgit, but I have to PM for best price. Yeah, that's the one that I bought. Okay. I'm not gonna PM for best price, sorry. Did you PM them? Did you text them directly, Andrew? What price are they selling? I'm curious. I bought it for 45 ringgit direct from China with free shipping from Shopee. There. Jorgos says, I don't like that Micro Four Thirds has lost its direction. The cameras becomes bigger and expensive. Also, lenses are expensive. No real improvement to the sensor or continuous autofocus. That's true. Hey, I think size is one problem. Like size and price are already two very big problems to talk about. But the two things that, to me, I feel are more important for them to address quickly will be the improvement of image sensor, or using a new sensor with better resolution and significantly improve image quality, right? Of course, the autofocus as well. They are so far behind compared to what Sony, Nikon, and Canon are doing. So if they can update the image sensor, I'm not asking Micro Four Thirds, whether it's Orient Digital Solutions or Panasonic, to surpass full frame or to compete, no, but at least show some progress. Hey, have a little bit of bump of resolution, maybe improvement, a little bit of improvement of dynamic range, high ISO. I'll take it rather than staying stagnant for all these years, right? Autofocus is something that they can do. I'm sure they can do. It's just programming, software, optimizing the algorithm. All the lenses, I'm sure they will work very well. They just don't pay enough attention to that, which is very disappointing. Yeah. Roger says yes. Yes to what? Miguel says, do you think Nikon ZF-C is a good alternative to Micro Four Thirds? No. No autofocus, no go. Nikon ZF, however, is a good alternative to Micro Four Thirds. Asfar says, coming to visit Malaysia, going to get an EM10 Mark III. Awesome. Where are you from, Asfar? And Trill says, hello Robin and all. Hey Entric, how are you? Good to see you here. Flatcap says, my Panasonic GH7 within Micro Four Thirds envelope seems as viable as a S1 Mark II. I can't see me purchasing an S1 Mark II. Okay, so you have the GH7. Here's the thing, right? GH7 is so bloated with all the features that I don't need. It has like open gate, it has like 4K 120, it has it can shoot video raw internally. Then it has the audio float 32-bit. Like, I don't need all this. And if I were to buy a GH7, I'm paying for all these features that I don't need, which doesn't make sense. And why am I going to pay so expensive? And at that price, GH7, right, I can easily pay half of that retail price and get a Z5 Mark II Nikon and basically be happy with everything that I have. And still, the Z5 Mark II has a lot of things that they can do so much better than the GH7. And if I want to spend the same price as GH7, maybe cheaper than GH7, I can get Canon R6 Mark III, which is a newer camera, has more resolution, definitely better image quality, right? Or even the Sony A7 Mark V. So all these cameras are about the same price as the GH7. GH7 is definitely more expensive than a Canon, maybe slightly cheaper than a Sony, or about the same price, at least based on Malaysian price. And I don't see how GH7 has more benefits than all these other cameras. I was definitely, like, price to price, in terms of performance to cost, I'll say the GH7 loses out a lot. And I understand a lot of people say, okay, I'm already stuck with Micro Four Thirds lenses, might as well just get the best, right? Yeah, but then, like, if you use those features, like if you need all these amazing cinematography features, the video capabilities, right? Then GH7 makes sense. I can see how it can make a difference if you take video seriously. But I'm just doing YouTube. Why do I want to shoot video in RAW? I have to upgrade my memory card. I have to upgrade my storage. I have to upgrade my computer. I don't think my computer can handle RAW video from the camera. It's going to take a lot of processing power. And it's going to spend like easily more than 10,000 ringgit on all of this. That's like, if you convert to US dollars, that's 2,000 to 3,000 US dollars. Why do I want to spend that kind of money? I spend money on the camera, I spend another $2,000-3,000 for my computer, storage, and memory cards and everything else. It just doesn't make sense, right? And if I were to work with currently what I have, I mean, do you guys think that this stream looks bad? This quality? No, right? I think the quality looks good. It's good enough. I don't need anything better than this. And do you guys, I mean, you guys have seen my videos that I publish every week, right? Do you think the video quality is lacking in any way? Is it not sharp enough? Does it not have nice bokeh? Or the color is bad? Or is there like blown highlights? Or is it noisy? No, right? Like, I'm not saying that what I have now is better than GH7. No, I'm sure GH7 is way better than what I have. It's just I don't need them, right? It's like, some people say, oh, okay, I'm going to pay for the best. Like, I have a friend, I just want to get a medium format camera because I have money. I want to pay for 100 megapixels because I have the money for it. What are you going to do with that 100 megapixels? So he takes photos, he publishes on his Facebook, he publishes on his Instagram. You can't even see the pixels. It's being squished down to less than 1 megapixels. And on a display, like a smartphone with a Full HD display, it's only like 1 to 2 megapixels. And if it's full screen. If it's like in a photo format, it's like like a smaller format, it's like definitely only about 1 megapixels or less. And you have 100 megapixels for what? Right, like I'm not saying that it's not necessary. Like GH7, I'm sure for those who need the features, it's amazing. Good for you. You pay for it, then it's worth it. Like for me, I can't justify spending the money and not using those features. Like I can't force myself to use something that I don't need. Right. So there you go. Yeah. Jump says Micro Four Thirds needs to focus on what smaller sensors can do easier than larger ones, fast readout speeds, global shutter even, and smaller lenses in a slightly more affordable package. We've gotten none of this, and that's kind of strange because I would have thought Micro Four Thirds to be the first one to launch global shutter. Makes sense, right? It's cheaper to make a Micro Four Thirds global shutter because it's smaller compared to full frame. Some will say, oh, because full frame has higher production, you know, like they make more full frame sensors, more people buy full frame, then it's cheaper. But that's not true because I don't think there's a lot of people buying A1 Mark II. Was it A1 Mark II or was it A9 Mark III? Oops, blackout again. See, I hope it's not too serious. It just blacks out like 1 to 2 seconds, right? So we're just going to ignore that. Coming back to global shutter. Which camera is so... My brain is not working. A1... A9 Mark III, sorry, it's the A9 Mark III. Like, how many people have A9 Mark III? I don't even have a friend who has one. And I have hundreds of friends, right? I'm sure there are a lot of people who bought it, and there are maybe thousands and thousands of A9 Mark III owners out there. But I don't think the collective number is more than people who use Micro Four Thirds just from the A9 Mark III, right? So if that's the case, if Micro Four Thirds started to push global shutter, I don't think the cost will be higher than full frame. It just doesn't make sense. Jeff says, hey Robin everyone, I'm happy with Micro Four Thirds progress. I'm chuffed to bits with the OM3. Okay, I'm glad that you're happy. Good for you. Roger says, not happy. They need to get a few compact camera bodies to replace the Pen line and the EM10 line. Agreed. I think Pen is definitely due for some upgrades, and we definitely need an EM10 camera. A cockroach just flew in from the window. My goodness. Let me just settle this problem if I can catch the cockroach. Be right back. Oh, sorry. Thanks for the... Yeah, I muted just now. Sorry. No audio after the cockroach. All right, let me get back to... I think I started with Andrew's comment, right? No, it wasn't Andrew. Let me see. Okay. I think it was Soaring Capture. I'll be really happy if OM3 had better handling and cheaper. Yes, I don't know why the handling is so bad. I hope that the OM3 could have had better handling. I don't think it's that difficult to do because Olympus and OM system cameras always had very good handling. And OM3 is like one of the few that had poor handling, right? And the price definitely needs some adjustment, maybe 20-30% lower than what it is. Yeah. Andrew says, nope, did not PM Milo, not bothered. I just bought it out of curiosity, right? Because it's only 45 ringgit and I just don't drink 3 cups of coffee for next week. Then I can replenish the funds already, so not a big problem. Rowan Catcher says they need to bring back EPL size cameras, better dynamic range, and lower the price. I agree with all your points. And definitely, I feel that small cameras, we need them. They need to improve image quality and need to adjust the price. Definitely. Hopefully they listen as well. Andrew says, the only assignment I got from Micro Four Thirds this year is just from the used market. Used market, really? So are you out of your fasting month already, or the month that you stopped looking at carousel? So it's December, right? So you're going to start looking at carousel again, right? That's how you found Milo and the knockoff of Kodak Charmera, right? Omok Bay says, I recently got to handle the Panasonic S9 and I was shocked by how small it was. How do you think Micro Four Thirds has the future when full frame can get so small? S9 is not small. Let me see. I don't understand why people say S9 is small. I think S9 is monstrous. And the handling is so bad. Let's see. Don't have it with me, the comparison. S9 versus... Where is it already? No, I don't have the photo, unfortunately. But S9 is not small. Let me see if anyone has online S9 versus GM1. I have the photo, I just don't have it here. Images. Ah, there it is. That's my photo. Okay, that will have to do. So okay, so let me see if I can share. How do I do this? Windows screen. Like that's GM1 and that's S9. So to me, I think that's like double the size, right? Definitely not small. Definitely not small. All right. And also, like, S9 is such a lousy camera, if you ask me. It's such a poorly executed camera. No mechanical shutter, meaning that you'll suffer banding, jello effect. That's a very slow sensor. The jello effect is not going to happen just for video. It's going to happen in photography as well. And I shoot a lot in low light or artificial light where you need to deal with the LCD light. And in such situations, there's a lot of banding that can happen, and there's no fix in post-processing to correct for the banding. That is going to be a disaster, a nightmare. It means that 50% of the time I can't use S9 for my photography. Not only that, you can't attach flash, right? And you can't use flash if you want to because there's no mechanical shutter and there's no hot shoe to attach flash. Then not only that, camera is just ridiculous. Like, there's so many limitations with that camera. It just feels like it's not designed for serious users. Like, I don't know why they made it in the first place. They could have done it with the Micro Four Thirds instead, make it an updated GM5 or GM1, and you know, like, it could have been better without all these limitations or without nerfing the product so much, right? We have a super chat. Thank you so much, Gregory. Gregory never skip coffee. Yes, I'll drink to that, Gregory. Appreciate that. Thanks for the support. So yeah, where were we? Corpino says smaller sensors maybe can push for 4K 240 frames per second and 2K 960 slow-mo burst. I don't even use 4K 60. I use 4K 24 for my videos. Okmobile says, also I'm a dual Micro Four Thirds Fuji shooter. We exist. I learned a lot about how to shoot better with Micro Four Thirds from Fuji customization options. Okay, so anything specific that you've learned from Fuji that helped you in Micro Four Thirds? I'm curious to know. Serafin says, pick myself up the OM3 and I have to say I prefer the face detection capabilities over my ZF. But hey, you have to turn off face recognition when you want to use the entire focus area on screen. But that's not true though. The OM3, I've already mentioned in my video that I've missed a lot of shots. And if you really scrutinize the shots, it seems like it's in focus, but it's not. And I'm not the only one who faces this issue. Even Rob Track he mentioned that he faced a similar problem. Like, it seems like it's focused, but it's not. It's slightly off. And I never had that problem with my Nikon Z5 camera. And I assume that the ZF is better than the Z5. Yeah. So in terms of autofocus, the OM3 still has a long way to go. Let's get to the members chat. That was just now. Andrew says, dang, you caught me. Yeah, I'm out of sabbatical since Black Friday. Just browsing, only on Carousel, no buying. Just browsing, eh? Just browsing. Good for you, Andrew. Thanks, Jay Perez, for the super chat. Got a 1600 OM3 with job discount. Loved it. Best retro build out, but that EVF totally put me off. Oh, is it that bad? I didn't think the EVF is that bad. I'm okay with the EVF. Fix that and price, you have a modern classic. Yeah, for that price they are paying, right? I think it deserves at least a 3.69 million dot instead of the 2 point something million dot, right? I think at least the 3.69 million dot, or if they can fit the OM1's electronic viewfinder, even better, the 5 point something million dot. But yeah, I think at least it deserves a 3.6 something million dot, right? Instead of the lower resolution one. I definitely agree with you. And thanks, really thanks for the support. I appreciate that. See if any more members chat. Gregory says, OM Solution concentrated on aesthetics, not functionality. That's Fuji. That's not OM Visual Solutions. That's Fuji. Asfar says, which places do you suggest to get reliable second-hand microphotos, cameras, and lenses? If I'm in Malaysia, I usually go to Carousel. That's what me and Andrew have been talking about. I'll give you the website, carousel.com.my. All right. Okay. Malaysia camera use market. So as far, here it is. Check out the website. Carousel. Actually, it's not Carousel. It's Carousel, right? S-E-L-L, but never mind. Carousel sounds nicer. Close says, greetings, I'm building up spirit to return to photography. I've had my thoughts of making my own channel and have seen much photography content on YouTube recently. Go for it. I definitely encourage photographers to start their own YouTube channel because I think photography is a two-way thing. And you definitely need an audience. You don't need 1 million subscribers and 100,000 people watching your video. Even if you get 10 people watching and commenting, that's precious, that's valuable. That can give you some insights, that can give you some feedback. And because of that interaction, it keeps you motivated and keeps you wanting to do more. At least that's what I felt with you guys. Because you guys are here, it makes me feel like what I do here matters. It makes me feel like there's a meaning to all the videos that I've shared, and definitely encourages me to push myself further and try to do my best, put my best foot forward, and try to share as much as I can with everyone. And definitely I think having a channel also keeps you disciplined. There's that deadline that you have to keep, or the things you set for yourself, right? Like you need to do one video per week. So you have to remind yourself that I need to do something every week, and that gets you going, right? And with discipline, definitely you get better. I think we only get better if you shoot more, if you are a photographer, yeah. All right, go for it, Klaus. LWW says, I'm indifferent with micro four thirds this year. I've seen progress, not everything. They have the ability for more megapixels, but haven't. That's sad. Yeah, definitely we need more megapixels, right? It seems like they're being stuck at 20, at least on Digital Solutions, and that's kind of sad in the year 2025, moving to 2026, right? But their small market share is really becoming noticeable. At the recent photography workshop, I was the only Olympus shooter. Yeah, kind of sad though. There was once they were so huge. They were dominant, especially for mirrorless. They were actually number one, while everyone is still playing DSLR. And then now that people are moving to mirrorless, they just sort of just give up, right? They're not even fighting as hard as they should. Vcam says, totally agree with sensor and autofocus update. Definitely. Asfar says, hello from Bangladesh. Hey, Asfar. From Bangladesh. Nice. I can't remember now. Actually, my favorite photographer is from Bangladesh, but I can't remember his name. He's a journalist. Let me see. Andrew Biraj. So it took me 5 seconds to recall his name. One of my favorite photographers, the one that really inspired me, and is Andrew Biraj. He's a photojournalist. I've seen his photographs published at World Press Photo, the book compilation. I bought one of the books, and his work is just amazing. He took a lot of his projects are just crazy good. Do check out Andrew Biraj. I'm not even sure if he's still active now, or maybe he's retired. I don't know what he's doing, but his photos were like from 10, 20 years ago. Photojournalist, right? Going to like very difficult places, covering human stories and all this. Yeah. So yeah, Bangladesh. And I think that Bangladesh probably, in terms of photography, the culture itself is probably more mature than Malaysia, which is kind of sad, right? I think Malaysia, in many ways, I'm talking about my country, Malaysia, is quite behind. And I mean, we have so many world-renowned photographers from Bangladesh, and Andrew Biraj is not the only one. There are other like National Geographic photographers from there whom I can't recall the names now. And we don't even have National Geographic photographers from Malaysia that I can think of. So yeah, definitely, Bangladesh is a country that I really respect when it comes to photography. Let me see if any more chat from members. No members chat. Right, let's proceed with non-members. Anthony says, a desktop computer usually outperforms a laptop computer for its price. Portability costs money. I guess the same thing goes when it comes to a camera system, especially Micro Four Thirds. Okay. Not sure what you're getting at. I'm using a desktop computer. Also says, I have a Panasonic 12-35 f2.8 Mark II. Thought about getting a GX9 or G85, but exceeded budget, so considering to trade it and get an EM10 Mark III and an Olympus 25 f1.8. I think if you can get an EM10 Mark II, it's also a great camera. From EM10 Mark II and EM Mark III, it's not much difference. I think the only big difference from EM10 Mark III and Mark II versus EM10 Mark IV is the 4K recording, 4K video, and other than that, it's pretty much the same. And yes, Olympus 25 f1.8 is an excellent lens, definitely. Looking at many YouTube reviews and your videos, I've come to a conclusion that Olympus has better image stabilization than Panasonic. I wouldn't say better. If you're talking about the previous two cameras that you talk about, the GX9 and G85, yes, the Olympus image stabilization is better. But the newer Panasonic cameras like GH7 or G9 Mark II, the top tier ones, the flagship, I would say that you probably can't notice the difference. And in some areas, maybe the image stabilization by Panasonic is better than OM's system. I don't know. I haven't tested the G9 Mark II or GH7 extensively to make that conclusion. So I'm just saying that don't discount what Panasonic can do. Thank you so much, VKM. Robin speaks common sense. I try my best. Erkan says, new Micro Four Thirds cameras are all very expensive now, so it's not really worth getting into Micro Four Thirds anymore. Like if you're new, I think, yeah, it's probably not the best solution. There are so many alternatives out there. There's so many cheaper options. And especially like if you go to Nikon, Sony, not Canon, Nikon and Sony, there are so many third-party lenses, cheap and really good third-party lenses with autofocus that you can choose from, right? Which makes them even more compelling if budget is a concern. Andrew says, the only thing Panasonic did in Ferris this year is drastically reduce prices for the older models. That said, it's still almost about the same price with newer Sony or Canon entry-level cameras. Like, Panasonic in Malaysia has always been overpriced anyway compared to the prices from other countries. And it's always kind of sad. And I wanted to buy some of the products, and I don't know if if I've shared this story before. I don't think you've heard me talk about this before. 2 years ago, about 3 years ago, when the Panasonic 9 f1.7 was launched, and the pre-order came, I did not pre-order because I don't really believe in pre-orders, right? I just want to buy the product, pay my money and get it. So I'll wait for the stock to come and buy it, right? So I waited, okay, and I saw Panasonic at the fair, like, okay, they fulfilled the pre-order already. So I asked them, so where's the 9 f1.7? They said, oh, we sold out. I'm like, really? Okay, so here I am, a consumer coming to you, right? Say, hey, I want to buy 9 f1.7. You say it's sold out. What is next? You could have told me, okay, maybe you can check out this store. They have stock, or we don't have stock now, but our stock is coming next month or 2 months from now. If you don't mind waiting, I can take your name. We'll call you when the stock comes. Nothing like that. It's like, oh, sold out. Then I say, how? No more. It's like they don't even want to sell the lens and camera. I'm like, what the f? So you know what happened? I bought from Hong Kong instead. Shopee. Cheaper than Malaysia price anyway. Andrew says, With the about the same pricing, most of the new consumers will go for APS-C rather than micro four thirds. Full frame. I think full frame. No one will really go for APS-C anymore. Full frame, right? Ryan Christian says, I blame the full frame snob influences for micro four thirds Olympus downfall. Like how they say you need full frame, you need Canon for good colors. No, I don't blame the influencers. If what they say is wrong, if the influencers are lying, people will know. People are not stupid. There is some truth to what the YouTubers, the influencers, or key opinion leaders are saying. They can't just lie and people can't just believe whatever that they say. And this is the problem because Micro Four Thirds is losing their edge. Whatever Micro Four Thirds has the advantages in the beginning, like image stabilization, being small and light, having really sharp lenses, or having like unique features, live composite, pro capture, high res shot, all these things, full frame also has them already, and they make them even better and cheaper. That's the problem, and that's what gave those influencers bullets to attack. If Micro Four Thirds is truly better, if full frame doesn't have all these advantages, if we have some unique selling points, it will not be so easy for them to attack Micro Four Thirds just like that. Yeah. Sorry about the video feed going on and off. I noticed that. Gary says, I just checked out Andrew Viraj's website. Wow, amazing images right from the start. I know, right? He's like one of the, like, seriously, we look at his images like, wow, really, really, really wow. I'm not kidding. Yeah. Yeah, Tona says, that's shocking customer service, they don't care. And this is official Panasonic Malaysia, yeah? At a like camera trade fair, they have like booth set up. Panasonic Malaysia people came there and said, hey, where is the lens? They say, oh, sold out. So how, if I want to buy one? No more. But it was just launched like 2 months ago. Like, hello? don't you want, like, I don't mind paying money and you just, and wait for it. And no, like, they don't care. Like, they don't care about me. So I just bought it from elsewhere. Like, seriously, right? If you don't want my money, I can spend it elsewhere, right? Yes, I still have the Panasonic 9 f1.7. Yes, it's an excellent lens. I'm not going to lie. I made a review about that. It's just that sometimes looking at how Panasonic run things in Malaysia is kind of sad, really. Fazik says, I mean, used ones are cheap, though depending on region, it's a bit sparse. Okay. Aswa says, I feel like Micro Four Thirds is best for macro range and telephoto image stabilization helps, but the portability factor sells it for me. I think Micro Four Thirds is definitely good, not just for macro and tele, but also for street photography. I've been using it for my street photography a lot. I think it's fantastic. Sorry about that, Space Lord. Sorry about that, VKM and Vapagamoka. I fixed it already. Wolfie says, sorry, but I haven't been happy with Micro Four Thirds in quite a while. I gave up and switched from Micro Four Thirds twice. Okay. Spello says, this could last an hour. He's so far back in the chat. Really? You have no faith in me, Space Lord? Fazil says, I feel like if you're buying new gear in Micro Four Thirds, you'll lose money over the competition. Used though is awesome. Not really though. Like, depending on what you buy. Lenses, you'll never lose money. Lenses, the price will never drop so far. In fact, the prices of lenses have increased over time, right? Camera body, any camera body will lose money. Even Canon, like or Nikon, right? Nikon, I know the Z5 II was launched this year. It was just launched this year, and now barely half a year, the price has dropped like 25% now. And it's not just a Micro Four Thirds problem, right? Nikon, Canon, Sony is the same. Same with Sony, Canon as well. Like the prices of like, cameras will drop, but the lenses price will stay quite consistent. Yeah. This side to our screen says, the challenge right now is timing of demand for small point and shoot cameras. The time it takes for R&D to make is maybe 4 years. They could have shortened it. It's not like they've never made digital cameras before. 10, 20 years ago, yeah, technology, everything is not really there. But now, with so much advancement, with all the computational power that they have with programs and software, they can speed up the things. Instead of 4 years, they can do it in 2, right, or less. Definitely. Klaus says, I have the limited edition of the EM10, the green one. Here have that. I wanted the orange one. Couldn't find one though. I wanted the orange one. What is wrong with the EVF or M3? It uses the old panel from more than 10 years ago. I think it's the same panel as the EM1 or like EM1 Mark II. Yeah, so it's a more than 10 years old panel. And for that price, because they're selling a price that almost, with that price you can buy a full frame camera today, right? And full frame cameras, all the other cameras have way better, higher resolution, newer EVF panel. The newer even panels will be like 3.69 dots or 5 point something million dots. The old one's 2 point something million dots. And you can really see it's quite old already. And don't you think that we deserve a new panel? Like if you pay such a high price, if they are pricing it 30% lower or 40% lower, I'm not going to complain, all right? But at that price, I expect the best of the best, right? Yeah. Hey, Squadat, how are you? Nice to see you here. Mark just says, I do love the zoom on the Macro Four Thirds. Once I get 40-150 f2.8 and MC20, it'll be even better. All right. Yeah, you're getting that soon, right? It says sometime next year. Jay Perez says, after a week with the OM3, I went back to the X100 Mark VI. The difference in electron viewfinder I expected was much better, plus I love the optical viewfinder. The overall value made me switch back to the X100 Mark VI. I really hated the optical viewfinder of the X100 series camera. What I see on the optical viewfinder and what I got from the image is totally different. And I shoot a lot of close-up, like close-up portraits, cats, food, whatever, right? The framing is all totally off. I know there's like a guide on the box or whatever on the screen overlay, but it's just different. Like what I get out of it and what I see on the optical viewfinder is just totally different. But other than that, the electronic viewfinder is totally fine. Yeah, and that's the attraction or the appeal of using the Fuji X100 series cameras. It has the hybrid viewfinder. You can switch between optical and electronic. I'm sure if you shoot something like far away, a building or whatever, things across the road, it doesn't make a difference. But if you shoot like close up, which I do a lot, I mean, if you see my photography, I take a lot of close up shots, right? That's gonna be a big problem. The composition wise, everything is off. I can't rely on the optical viewfinder. None says, I just bought the EM10 Mark IV. Macro Four Thirds makes perfect sense to me and works very well. Congratulations. I hope you enjoy the EM10 Mark IV. Dave says, hi Robin. Hey Dave, how are you? What's a problem with Nikon ZFC's autofocus? Oh, did I say no autofocus, no go? So it should be no image stabilization, no go. Sorry, I said it wrongly. It rolled off too fast. No image stabilization, no go. Klaus says, I will take very long to start that as K need most of next year. What is K? To pay off various payment plans. Then I aim to sub to Creative Cloud and make space on my PC. Okay, you're talking about the YouTube channel you're about to start. No worries, and you don't have to worry so much, right? Like let's say you already have a camera and a tripod and a microphone, you can start recording already. YouTube is basically free, and you can use free software as well, like DaVinci Resolve, which basically costs zero, right? So the starting cost of YouTube is only your time. You do need to invest some time to learn how to edit your video and to learn how to do a proper workflow and put everything together. That requires some time and a bit of experimenting. But other than that, yeah, it shouldn't cost you a lot of money and it should be fine. Yeah, you can start right away. Naturel says, is OM Systems issue research funding that they are a bit behind? We have no idea, right? I don't think they'll admit to any of these issues if they have. Klaus says, years ago, you did a video on Beta Software Olympus launch so that I can use the OMD as a webcam. What is that software again? I plan on doing some live unboxings. Do not use that. That is the Olympus, I can't remember, something webcam. Let me find a video. Don't use that. There are better options now. Olympus webcam, I think. Yes, OMD webcam. So the video is here. Don't use this. I mean, it's good for a webcam, but it's not gonna be good. So what you should do is to buy a capture card, right? Let me find a capture card. What capture card am I using? I don't remember what capture card am I using. Let's say capture card 4K. Get a 4K capture card. Let's see which one is the good one. Good one. Elgato is a very good brand, so I don't think I can show you this one. Never mind. The name is capture card, so it's very simple. 4K capture card. Get one. Connect your camera using the capture card to the computer. Capture the display straight out of a camera. You can get full 4K clean display. that is the way to go. The OMD webcam only captures 720p. That's not enough for today's YouTube standard. And there are a lot of limitations with that, a lot of problems there and here. So I would highly recommend using a proper setup. That's what you see on this live stream. Of course, the connection has to be proper or else you get like the constant blackouts that you see. All right, let's see. I'll read one or two more chats and then we'll get to the photo sharing. All right. Okay. Dan says, I know I sound like a broken record, but Micro Four Thirds needs to bring higher megapixels, more straight focus, and more affordability. Right now, they are failing at all three. We have been mentioning the same as well. They need new sensor. They've been using the old sensor for so long with no improvements whatsoever, and definitely they need smaller and more compact camera bodies, entry level, and something definitely more accessible for everyone. You're not the only one saying this, Dan. A lot of people agree with you. Roll and Capture says, I watched your video the other night for the EM1 Mark II. If you have iCup, I want to get one, but I can't find it. Do you know where to look? I can find it in Shopee, but probably not where you are. Like, I don't know where you get your stuff from. But from Shopee, I mean, Shopee is like an Amazon for Malaysia, right? So, not recommended for you though. Yeah, let me read a few more. Wolfie says, the reason I am disappointed with Micro Four Thirds is the ever-increasing image quality disparage to current full frame and the autofocus. Yeah, definitely. Full frame cameras are getting better and better in terms of image quality, and autofocus just gets better and better, right? And if you look at Micro Four Thirds, there's no progress at all. And I hope that next year, maybe we'll get something from OM Digital Solutions or Panasonic to address this issue. Hopefully. Alpine says, do you believe there is a reason that we don't see Panasonic and Olympus redo their most popular lenses, like 20 f1.7, giving a reasonably quick focus? I would love weather sealed pancakes. Panasonic, I don't know what's wrong with them, but OM Digital Solutions is doing something. They have launched the Mark II versions of the 17 1.8 and 25 f1.8. The Mark II versions are weather sealed. So OM Digital Solutions is definitely doing something. Panasonic, I don't know. I really don't know what's wrong with Panasonic. Wolfie says, after using the Sony A7 Mark IV for the first time ever using full frame, the image quality is bigger than people mentioned. The autofocus on OM1, people promised me when going back to Micro Four Thirds was not as good as Sony. I don't know who claims that OM1's or OM1 Mark II's autofocus is as good as Sony or as good as Canon. It's not even close. Like, not even worth mentioning. I don't know who is the one that propagated this fake news. It's not even close, right? Well, I mean, image quality, we definitely can't compare. Micro Four Thirds sensor being physically smaller, we can't compare with full frame. Full frame will definitely have advantages, but the question is it good enough for you? Like, there'll always be something better, right? If you say, oh, okay, 61 megapixels is a lot of pixels, but there is 100 megapixels, there's 200 megapixels. If you say about, oh, dynamic range, this is enough, but then again, like medium format, you have more dynamic range. And you say, oh, you know, like this is better, that's better, but there's always something better out there and it never ends. And the question is it good enough for you? So for me, at least for now, Micro Four Thirds is still good enough for me. I can't say it for you. And it doesn't mean that having more is better. That's not always the case. It's more about how you utilize and maximize and optimize what you have to get the best possible results. It's not necessarily about I want the best. Then having 200 megapixels medium format with the camera being so large and you're going to do street photography with that, it just doesn't make sense, right? So it's about finding the right tool for the right job. Yeah. All right, time check. It's 5 minutes past 11. Let me just read two more chats from members, and then we'll go to photo sharing. Andrew says, Leica Malaysia is doing a photo walk this week. Go check it out. I'm going to the one tomorrow. Tomorrow? Tomorrow is a working day. Why are they doing a photo walk on a weekday? Makes zero sense. Who is the photographer doing this photo walk? Rowan Capture says, I'm looking at a capture card too, so I use a USB-C to my EM1 for it. No, capture card, you have to use the... So what capture card does is it takes the HDMI out from your camera, right? So the EM1 doesn't have USB-C though. Which camera do you have, Rowan Capture? EM1 does not have USB-C. It might be difficult for EM1 because EM1 does not even have HDMI, so do check it out. So what the capture card does is it takes the HDMI out from the camera, so it's a micro HDMI output. It goes into the capture card. Capture card converts the signal that is readable by USB, and the USB goes into the computer. So it takes a USB port of a computer, and it inputs the HDMI out from your camera directly into your computer. That's what a capture card does. All right. Yeah. All right. I'm going to pause here because it's already 6 minutes past 11, and I'm going to drink some water to stay hydrated. And we will start with the first set of photos we are sharing tonight. There are two sets. I will share the first set first because it's more fun. It's not a new photograph. This set of photographs were taken many years ago. I wanted to share them because I thought they were fun. I think I took the photographs even before I started this YouTube channel. So it tells how long ago it has been. And I don't think I've shared these photographs again. The last time I shared these photographs was probably on Min Tian's blog, not even on my own blog. So hey, it's my photographs. I can reuse them again if I want to, right? They were taken with EMR Mark II, 40-150 f2.8 Pro with MC14, some shots. Some shots were taken with the 12-40 f2.8 Pro. It was a Muay Thai match, an actual Muay Thai match by AFC. AFC is Asian Fighting Championship or something. I don't know, it's Muay Thai. It actually happened nearby my place in Bukit Jalil. I can just walk like 5 minutes from where I stay. So yeah, so let's take a look at some Muay Thai. There we go. Images were taken at about 1/500th of a second, right? Shutter speed priority. ISO was about I think 3200 and higher. Some shots were 6400, but I think 80% of the shots were taken at ISO 3200. The reason I need to boost up the ISO to 3200 or 6400 was because I need 1/500 of a second shutter speed, and I don't have f1.8. I was using f2.8. Actually, not f2.8. Sorry, I used MC14, right? The teleconverter. So technically, I was shooting at f4. So that's why I need to bump up the ISO. Although the lighting wasn't so dim, the light was quite okay, but I was shooting at f4. So to stick at 1/500 of a second, I needed ISO 3200 or ISO 6400. And you can still see some blur because the movement was so fast. And trust me, this was the fastest thing that I've ever shot in my life. And I don't even know what was happening half of the time. Everything happened so fast. I just click, and hope I got a shot. Like seriously, I am not a Muay Thai fan. I am not familiar with how the sports works. I don't even know how they scored the system or the marks and how to tell who's the winner. Half of the time I can't even follow what's happening in front of me. Everything, all the hands and the legs moving so fast. Like if you put the fighter in front of me, right, they can just knock me out in 1 second. I cannot respond. Like seriously, they were so lightning fast, and like I have trouble keeping up. Like I don't know where they'll go. Like they go left, right, front, back, and I don't know whether they'll kick or punch. Like I can't read their movement very well. There is something that I cannot predict. So what I did was just burst. These were all taken with electronic shutter. I think about 15 frames per second. Or did I slow it down? Maybe I slowed it down to 10 frames per second. Because in EMR Mark II, you can slow down the burst rate, customize the burst rate. Maybe 10 or 12 frames per second. Just burst, and just spray and pray. This was a situation where I surrendered everything to the camera. I let the camera do the autofocus, let the camera just focus on whatever the camera wanted because I have no time to choose the autofocusing point or to follow whoever. I just let the camera follow, right? And this was before there was human face and eye tracking like the OM1, OM Mark II, right? Even on EMR Mark III had some form of human face and eye. This was EMR Mark II. We don't have that back then. So this was cluster autofocus. So I just let the camera decide whatever that the camera wants to focus. And I just burst. I don't know what's the timing. I just see they start hitting and just click, right? Or just press down and hold down the shutter button and hope for the best. And hope this is what we call spray and pray. And I got some shots. Miraculously, I got some shots. And it means that, oh, you don't really need like, A9 Mark III or, like a Z9 Nikon or the Canon R1 or R3 for sports photography. This is technically indoor low light sports photography where you need very high ISO. You can do it with Micro Four Thirds. Of course, some people say, of course, full frame will be better, right? More resolution, you can crop better. Full frame will be better because cleaner, you can shoot at ISO 100,000, no problem. Full frame will be better because, like, more dynamic range, you get better colors, whatever. But then, if when I look at this image, when I look at the photograph, do I wish I have something better? No. Like, do I wish the noise is better? No. Do I wish there's more dynamic range? Do I wish the colors to be better? No. No. I was perfectly happy with the EM1 Mark II. I was perfectly happy with these shots. All right. And here you go. Like, these are in chronological order, right? So I was shooting from a distance because the audience, the seats were going up. So I have to go quite far up so that I don't have the, what you call it, the lines blocking the view of the fighters. I need to be high enough shooting down to prevent the lines from blocking the view. So if that makes sense. Yeah. No problem focusing whatsoever. When there's just one face looking at me, I have no problem. The problem started when there are two faces. And the camera will usually choose the one in front. And sometimes that's not what I want. I'll show you later what happened. And yeah, this is one of my favorite shots. You can really see the intensity of the shot. You can feel the energy, the burst, the impact, right, of that kick. And the other guy managed to block it just in time, but you can see all the sweat and the water just spraying like all in the air, the particles in the air. This was taken with 12 to 40, not 40 to 150. We were allowed to go close to the ring, very, very close. So it was close enough that I just used 1240. And these are the shots that I think I managed to get away with maybe ISO 1600. The closer you are, the brighter it is. And at f2.8, you don't need like ISO 3200 or 6400. You can get away with ISO 1600 or maybe ISO 2000. Yeah. And it's also 12 to 40. Right? You can see a wider background like this. The background is very wide. You can see the seats and everything. It's not compressed. Then it's the 12 to 40. It's definitely 12 to 40. And I intentionally stick at 1/500. I don't want to go faster, like 1/800 or 1/1000, because I want to have some motion blur. You can see that the leg, there's some movement there. And that motion blur added the sense of movement. It gives you the sense that these things happen very, very, very fast in a split second, right? And yeah, like Micro Four Thirds, no problem whatsoever. Like you can see, like I have no control over this. Like obviously my composition could have been a little bit better, but they move so fast, and I was zoomed in so close, everything just moves so fast, right? This was also 12 to 40 f2.8, right? Now this is the case where when you have two faces and the camera looks at the two faces, the camera will select the one in front. And I have no control, not only no control, I don't know I want the person behind. Because I didn't know that the punch was going to land. And I didn't know that the punch is going to distort the face like that. If I knew that, of course, I would somehow predict and make sure that the second person behind will be in focus. But you can see the second person was slightly out of focus. It's the person in front that is perfectly sharp in focus. I have no control whatsoever. This was 12 to 40, f2.8. And the punch just landed. You can see, oh my goodness. It's scary because he not only punched, he was kicking at the same time. So the person blocked the kick and he immediately punched at the same time. And you can see that the person at the back, he did not manage to block the punch in time. So the punch landed on the face. Like, this is a situation where, like I said, I cannot predict this will happen. I don't know. I want the person behind to be in focus. And the camera, of course, even if I know, let's say even if I know, I don't think there's a way to quickly just make it go to the back quickly, right? It's just like, I don't know. All these things happen so fast. I have no control. I just surrender everything to the camera. Like, please, whatever photography gods out there, please let me get a shot. This is where like you just spray and pray, right? So yeah, and look at that, the bloody face. My goodness, I don't know why I cropped this square. I think there was something that I didn't want to see at the sides. This happened so many years ago, so I can't remember what happened. I just cropped it in square. So yeah. Look at the face, it's blooded. It's already blooded. And like, then you will ask, right? Hey Robin, you shot this Muay Thai or one championship. I shot one championship before as well, many years ago. Why haven't you done any of them recently? Obviously you have access, like, you know, you have some friends, you can get in and shoot, right? That's true. The reason why I didn't shoot any of this anymore was because I did not enjoy them. I enjoyed the shooting process. I enjoyed the photography aspect of it. I enjoyed shooting action, don't get me wrong. I enjoyed being there, working the camera, right, clicking the shutter button, but I did not enjoy the violence of the sport. And I cannot support a sport that is just so senseless and mindlessly violent. And the two fighters are just punching and punching. I know it's consensual. I know that both of them, or the fighters, they knew the risk. They knew what they were signing up for, and there was a risk they would die on the ring. They were injured so badly, you can see blood splattered on the ring and everything, and the face here you see is bloodied and everything. Like, some people might have permanent injuries to the head or to parts of the body, and I don't see the point of the sport. I'm sorry, right? No disrespect to people supporting the sport. I understand fights like wrestling or boxing or all these kind of fights have been around and people celebrate them, and it draws such a huge crowd. I don't know what's wrong with human and violence. I just cannot support this violence. I've shot a few times. I told myself, okay, I've got some decent shots and it's time to stop. I'm not gonna go there and be seen or being associated with this kind of violence, right? So there you go. Yeah. So yeah, the kick, and look at the face. It's like, ooh, almost got me. Yeah. And yep, the kick. This was 40 to 150 with the MC14 1.4 times teleconverter all the way 210 millimeters. And people say that, oh, like Robin, 40 to 150 and 50 to 200, right? The overlap, what? Like 40 to 150 with MC14 is enough. This was the case where if I had the 50 to 200, it would have made a huge difference. Huge difference, right? Instead of ISO 6400, I could have used ISO 3200. Instead of ISO 3200, I could have used ISO 1600 to get the same image, right? From f4 to f2.8. And it would have been a lot sharper because with MC14, there will be some degradation in terms of image quality. Loss of sharpness is obvious, right? With the 5200, it will be sharper, you get more tonality, better contrast. Everything is just better. Yeah, so yeah. If you need it kind of situation, right? Like here, 50 to 200 will be definitely much more superior compared to 40 to 150. Definitely. And without the teleconverter at 150, it was not close enough. It just wasn't close enough. Yeah. All right. This was also 40 to 150. Whatever that's slightly from the top angle, shooting down with a very compressed perspective is 40 to 150. A Pro with the MC14. Yeah. Right, bash right into the face. Right, just a few more shots. All right, this was obviously 12 to 40 at an almost wide angle, 12 mm. You can see the full body shot. All right, shooting from a low angle, right, from bottom up. There you go, like some different perspective. All right, and again 40 to 150, blocking punch and kicks. All right, you can see the facial expression is really intense. All right, I don't know, like. I think if I know that they don't injure themselves, if I know that no one's getting hurt, and it's just for fun, let's say it's just a sparring match, and they're not fighting for real, I don't mind shooting that. Like if you tell me, okay, this Muay Thai is just an exhibition match, like they're not hurting each other, they're just faking the punch and everything, then maybe it's fine. I will be okay with that, but not an actual fight until you see the blood and everything, like one person being knocked out and like they have to be carried out from the ring. Like, oh, that was just horrendous. Like, ooh, look at the kick and the block, that successful block. Even the block must have hurt really bad with the full power kick like that. It's crazy, right? And yeah, another kick, right? It's just crazy. I love how you can see all the facial expressions when, that's what I wanted to capture as well, not just the action, but also like the facial expressions, like how they actually feel or what they were thinking. You can look in the face and try to read the fighters, their emotions and everything during the fight. Yeah, the leg going all the way up and being blocked, right? And all the kicks, my goodness. And being able to block, like, wow, I don't know, like if they just spring the kick at me like that, I think I'll just KO right away. I'll just surrender. Just kill me. Like I'm not gonna fight back. There's no way I'll be able to fight. Yeah. I don't remember if this actually successfully got into contact or not. This was the moment before the contact, right? You see the punch. Yeah, I don't remember. This was so many years ago. So many years ago. Yeah, just gonna go through just a few more shots. Look at that. the straight leg straight to the chin of that person, the person on the left. Like, my goodness. Yeah. Yeah. The two fighters going at it. Right. And this is the last shot of the day. I hope you guys enjoyed the session. I hope you guys enjoyed this photo sharing. It's a little bit unusual, not something that I normally share. I just thought, hey, I've done this before. I thought you guys would be interested in seeing those photographs. They were already captured anyway. It's not that, like, oh, I don't want to show them. Might as well just share them this one time and yeah, and be done with it, right? Yeah. So maybe in the future, if there's like, I remember there were Muay Thai, like people just doing poses for being paid, of course, models. They are actual Muay Thai fighters, but this is being paid to just fight, do like a fake fight for photography, right? And these photographers would come in and capture some nice shots, set up stage shots with nice lighting and everything. I think I'm okay with that. I'm open to this kind of photography. If I know that nobody's gonna get hurt, I'm actually okay with that. All right, let me drink some water and I'll get back to the chat. Yeah. Okay, let me get to the members chat. Dan says, yeah, exactly. Not even asking for that much. It'll be plenty happy with just 24, 26 megapixels. That's only 6 megapixel jump from what they have. EMA Mark II. Okay, there is a micro HDMI out. No worries. Tomato says, I think OM has done alright for 2025. Nice lenses and bodies, but OM5 Mark II could have had more improvements other than the USB-C. Hopefully better things to come in 2026. Maybe they'll listen to the pan demands. Hopefully, and I'll be very happy if they can release new pan cameras, especially the low-level pan light cameras like EPL 11 maybe. They'll be awesome. Andrew says, the photo walk is after work hours. It's in the evening. No idea who is leading. No mention. That is strange. Normally, it's very important to mention the name of the photographer. Like, I don't want to just go and being led by a nobody, right? Might as well just go on my own. Dan says, don't want to derail the topic, but was researching lens sharpness and realized that most lenses are sharpest at around f5.6. I always assume f8, f16 was the sharpest. Do you worry about this or no? If I have to shoot wide open, I shoot wide open. And Micro Four Thirds, if you look at f1.8, f2.8 versus f5.6, it's not that much different really. So yeah, I'll just shoot wide open or close to wide open if I have to. And if I were to start on the f5.6, f8, f16, that's because I want more depth of field. So I will stop down as necessary. And I don't really care. Like, I don't know, you guys have seen like my wide open shots. Actually, all the shots just now were taken wide open. Like if f2.8, f2.8, f4, f4. And that's the reason, because I need to capture as much light as possible. That situation, sharpness is not the main thing. Like, I don't really care about sharpness at that situation. So yeah. And trust me, Micro Four Thirds lenses, they are plenty sharp. Rowan Kircher says, you should do a video about fast-moving subjects, cars, planes, birds. I've looked. There are many good videos. Just spray and pray. Just surrender everything to your camera. Just spray and pray, really. Like, I don't have any tips. Like, when I was shooting that Muay Thai, it's just whatever I see, just click. I make sure everything is within my frame. And I don't even know what's happening half of the time. Everything moves so fast, I can't predict. Just spray and pray, really. Right, let's get to non-members chat. Squared says, I only have EPL 3 these days. EPL 3 is a great camera. Who says, now that Nikon has upped the game with image stabilization, autofocus, and no third-party limitations, they've never had third-party limitations, right? So they just invest in Micro Four Thirds anymore. Sony has third-party lens limitations? I don't think so, right? Sony has Vutrox, Mickey, has 7 Artisans, TT Artisans. Sony doesn't have any third-party limitations. Only Canon has third-party limitations that I'm aware of. My hand tremors are not getting any better. All right. Yeah, the image stabilization in Nikon is noticeably getting really good. Skoda says, I sent my G100 for repair and they gave me money and junked it. I'll probably save up for a G9 or the EPL 9. All right, but G9 and EPL 9 are two very different cameras still. G9 is like DSLR, beefy, size, large camera with viewfinder, right? EPL 9 is like small, light, compact, no viewfinder. So they're both very different. And G9 will cost like 5 times more than an EPL 9, even in the used market, right? Olympus can do more, really? You mean OM Digital Solutions can do more this year? Because Olympus is no more. MP says, hello Robin, hello people, how are you doing? I'm doing great, good to see you here, how are you? J. Perez says, that's exactly why I went back to X100 Mark VI. Overall value better, and as expected, electronic viewfinder is much better. Electronic viewfinder or VF shooter, it was no contest. I get larger sensor and smaller body. Nah, the sensor size is negligible. It's only like 20% larger, and honestly, image quality is the same. And I'll argue that in some areas, Micro Four Thirds renders better than Fuji in terms of colors and sharpness, more natural, organic, pleasing rendering. Technically, if you want to fight APS-C, Micro Four Thirds, I'll say almost, even if there's any difference, it's very negligible. But if you want huge difference, full frame. You can't deny. You compare with full frame, there's a massive, massive difference. Basilis says, I'm mostly staying with Micro Four Thirds because of how much I love Olympus lenses, except for the 17. I don't like the 17 either. I've used 3 of my friends' Sony G Master lenses. I only like the 24. All right, 24 is a good lens. J. Perez says, from M3 to X100 Mark VI. Definitely. Wolfie says, haha, you guys are talking to each other, no worries. Claus says, I have seen 1 or 2 orange ones on eBay, but not terribly long ago. Yeah, but we don't buy eBay in Malaysia. It's just not safe. Jen Garcia says, the Micro Four Thirds we knew is dead. It will continue as a very small niche, but less and less relevance and virtually no third-party support. It is the sad truth. Well, hopefully things will get better. I don't know. If third-party support were to come in, it's dependent on the camera sales, the camera body sales. So if OM Digital Solutions and Panasonic are to make more accessible and affordable camera bodies, I'm sure the third-party support will come in. If the market share improves, let's say that they can go up to 10% or 12% of the overall market, then the third-party manufacturers will definitely come in. Movie says, my hands and arms are trembling so much, I need 1/250th at 75 to get a sharp and not blurry image. Even with image stabilization, really? I would think that with stabilization, you can cut it down to maybe 1/100th, right? Street photography in the holiday season is always so much more harder for me. Okay, well I guess it's different here because like, I think Christmas is no different than any other day here. Somebody says, hey, how are you doing? I'm doing alright. Really shared whatever about updates, everything earlier, so do check it out if you have missed that. Nan says, I just bought an EM10 Mark IV and love it. Why all the doom and gloom? Micro Four Thirds rocks. There's no doom and gloom, we're just telling the truth, right? So here, the breakdown, in case you miss it, Nan. Market share, Micro Four Thirds is not doing well. In 2025, Panasonic released 0 products. OM Digital Solutions released some products. They are doing quite okay. I didn't say they are doing bad, but they could have done a little bit better. We need more affordable camera bodies to attract newer buyers and to increase the market share, because the market share is really bad. Did I say market share was really bad? If they continue to diminish from the market share, they'll just disappear altogether. We don't want that to happen, right? And we also need newer image sensor. We want to see some progress, because being stuck with the same image sensor for the past 10 years is not fun. Where everyone has moved on, especially like technology as well, not just image sensor. Being stuck, like if you look at full frame, Sony, Canon, Nikon, they have so much better in terms of autofocus and other technology, but Micro Four Thirds is being stuck and we're not going anywhere. So we want some progress. We definitely deserve some improvements, especially we are the ones who truly care. If you are a Micro Four Thirds fan, don't you want Micro Four Thirds to survive and thrive? If you do, then Micro Four Thirds need to do more. Whatever they're doing now is not enough. It's not doom and gloom. We are just stating the facts. And you will be, if you say that all these are not true, you're just being totally ignorant. Well, you can choose to be ignorant. I can't stop you from thinking whatever you want to think. Your opinion is your own. But hey, I'm not an ignorant kind of person. I look at facts. I'm a practical person. Sunday says, I think Micro Four Thirds is doing okay, but should double down for 2026. Hopefully. Yeah. You can get away with parallax, no worries. Yeah. For Micro Four Thirds bodies, Panasonic flagships are perfect, but they are missing a G85 Mark II and new rangefinder with face detect. OM system, they need to release a PanF Mark II. Perfect? No. If they are perfect, then the market share wouldn't be so bad. I think they can do a lot better in their flagship level cameras. They need to do better. the fact that the sales figures are so poor, it shows that the Panasonic bodies, the flagships, are actually very flawed. Claus says, yes, I also aim to learn video editing. Any particular recommendations? Tutorials. There's this guy. Let me see if I can bring him up. Mr. Alex Tech. Tutorials. This guy is a gem. So you can check out this guy's YouTube channel. He shares a lot of tutorials about using DaVinci Resolve for video editing. I learned a lot from him. Yeah. Ryan Catcher says, I did martial arts for a little bit as a kid. Before every training session, they made us swear we would only use these skills for self-defense. That's not what they do in Muay Thai. These people are practically trying to kill each other. If not, how do you explain the blood and people being non-responsive after the KO? Like, no, that's like totally not self-defense. That's very offensive, right, if you look at it. Alpine says, I guess this is a question regarding Micro Four Thirds progress. Is it worth buying an OM5 Mark II if a new OM5 is being sold 300 Aussie dollars cheaper, same color notwithstanding? Does the progress justify the price difference? It depends. If you're purely looking at what you get from the camera, I think EM5 Mark III is also a good option. Like, same sensor, same autofocus, same 4K video, same electronic viewfinder. Everything is pretty much the same, right? Same image stabilization as well. But if you're looking at some of the small things that they've changed, especially like USB-C, with power delivery, portable charging, what else did they change? Like some new computational features, right? They've added in, and maybe it's worth adding the $300. But strictly speaking, I think if I were to say, if budget is a concern, if you want to maximize the value of what you spend, then the EM5 Mark III, go for the EM5 Mark III, right? Or the OM5, yeah. Basilis says EM10 with a flip screen and face detect. Hopefully they release that next year. Claus says, I'm not sure if I understand correctly. It sends wirelessly to my PC. Wirelessly? But I should not use OMD. It's the only camera I have for it. There's no wireless. If you use a capture card, it needs a cable. It's HDMI out from the camera, then in the capture card, then USB from a capture card into the computer. There's no wireless. Like, I don't recommend dealing with wireless technology at this point. You want everything wired for more stable and smooth operations, better efficiency. Like, I don't deal with wireless stuff. Serafin says, strongly disagree. Keepers on OM3 versus ZF are pretty equal. Well, if it works for you, I'm not gonna disagree with you. I'm not gonna argue with you, but it doesn't work for me, right? And I've used the ZF before. It is way better than the OM1 Mark II, and I've tested the OM3 very extensively. It was a nightmare. The autofocus is completely unreliable. It is not the kind of autofocus I would use for my jobs. Like, I will lose a lot of important shots and my clients will not be happy. Whereas, I won't even talk about ZF. The Z5, however, I've shot jobs with it. I even shot a wedding with the Z5. It's amazing. It's almost fail-proof. And when it locks, it locks. It doesn't lock, it doesn't lock. Whereas the problem with the OM, I tested the OM Mark II and the OM3, is that it tells you it's locked, but it's not. It's not like 100% miss. It's just slightly miss. It's just that slight miss is so annoying. And like when I think of it, it's just it gets me so angry. Crystal says, hi Robin, for me, OM5 upgrade to Mark II is not sufficient. In this price range, we have a Canon R7, but R7 doesn't have image stabilization, so throw away the R7, which has much better autofocus. Yes, I don't deny that, but no image stabilization, no go. OM should add animal detection. The autofocus is very similar to EM1 Mark II. Okay. Thomas says, a new 20 f1.7 with fast autofocus would be great. Love that lens. Hopefully Panasonic listens. Yeah. Nan says, chasing tech is stupid and expensive. No one is asking you to chase tech, but will you be happy if suddenly one day you realize that Micro Four Thirds dies and you're still using Micro Four Thirds? All I want, and all I think most of us want, is for Micro Four Thirds to thrive, to continue to survive, so that we continue to get new products, new lenses, and new support, and better support from both OM Digital Solutions and Panasonic. In order for them to do that, they have no choice but to release new cameras and lenses. If you're saying that chasing tech is stupid, then everyone is just gonna stop. Like, we won't get new cameras, we won't get new lenses anymore. And then smartphones will get better. And old cameras will die. Is that what you want? I'm sorry, but I want cameras to continue to exist because I enjoy using cameras. And yes, what I have now is sufficient, right? Whatever that I have now, EM1 Mark II, OM1 is sufficient. But EM1 Mark II and OM1 will not last forever. These cameras will die in 2, 3 years or 5 years from now. I don't know. It can die anytime. The EM1 Mark II has been with me for like 7 years or 6 years now. OM1 has been with me for 3 years. These cameras cannot last forever. When they die, let's say there's no more Micro Four Thirds, I will be very, very, very sad. And I care about tech. I care about progress. I care about Micro Four Thirds getting better because I am a huge supporter of Micro Four Thirds. And I want them to continue to get better. I want them to have more market share so that we have a future with Micro Four Thirds. Is that so much to ask for? Or are you saying that you don't care about tech? Chasing tech is stupid. Let Micro Four Thirds die. Is that what you want, Nan? Really? No! I want Micro Four Thirds to survive. I want them to thrive. In order to do that, sorry, the companies will have no choice but to chase tech. And Trill says, Panasonic G9 Mark II is 25 megapixels. Many full-frame cameras are using. No. I think you are a little bit outdated, Trill. Canon R6 Mark III, 33 megapixels. Sony A7 Mark IV, A7 Mark V, 33 megapixels. Canon R5, R5 Mark II, 45 megapixels. Nikon Z8, Z9, 45 megapixels. Sony A7R Mark IV, A7R Mark V, 61 megapixels. Sony A7C R, 61 megapixels. Do I need to continue going on and on and on and on and on? Yeah. Wolfie says, I have watched every single wildlife photographer but that compared OMD solutions to other systems before I made the decision. I swear I'm not trying to cause trouble to anyone. You're not causing any trouble, Wolfie. No one is saying that you're causing trouble. Klaus says, I understood none of that capture card thing. Sounds like it's not some card but a cable. I have to see it visually. I can't show you because it's connected to my computer. If I pull it out, we lose this feed. Let me see if I can find, let's find it online. Let's see. Shopee. I'll try to find it, right? Give me a few minutes. If I can't find it, I can't find it. Okay, the brand is Easy Cap 4K capture card. Okay, the one that I have is this one. It's about $50 US. Okay, let me share Windows screen. So it looks like this. So there's the USB connection to the computer, right? USB port. And here is the HDMI port. The HDMI port goes to your camera. So camera HDMI out goes into the capture card. And the capture card with the USB goes into the camera. So what the capture card does is to capture the HDMI feed from your camera and put it into your computer. I hope that makes sense. Okay. Okay. See if members chat. Nope. We are 20 minutes to midnight. Let me just read one or two more chats and then I have a second set of photographs. Yes, we have. Close says, I may need focus bracketing. Is that feature in EM1 Mark II and Pan F? I don't recall. Yes, I think focus bracketing is in almost all new Olympus cameras. Not even in EM1 Mark II, right? Even EPL 7, lower level cameras have focus bracketing. Yeah. Focus stacking, however, only a few cameras have them. Yeah. Yes, EMR Mark II has focus stacking. Thank you so much, Jack. Appreciate that. Wolfie says, I mentioned this before, A7 Mark IV and 85 1.8. I get 90% accuracy at 10 frames per second with doggy running towards me, but I need to ask her 4 to 5 times to rerun to get the right paw position and smile. Yeah. Only 10 bits for video? What's only 10 bits for video? I don't understand. OM1 and 45 1.8, 40 150 f2.8, 20 to 25 frames per second, and get consistently back-drifted focus and soft focus with all the paw positions, reactions, and smiles in 1 or 2 tries at most. I mean, everyone knows this. Everybody knows this, right? And it's only the only person who disagrees with this is Serafin. Well, I'm happy that it works so well for you, Serafin. Like, in your world, if it works, it works. I'm not gonna deny, right? If you're happy with it, don't let other people influence you. But I'm not gonna be ignorant. I'm just looking at the truth. From my experience, from Woofie's experience, from my other friends' experience, having tested all these cameras myself, I've done a lot of extensive testing. No. Like what Woofie says is correct here. Enzo says, my understanding there is an interest with smaller pocket rocket cameras. This past summer packed my Olympus SH1 was amazing. The quality of the camera, my travel camera is OMD is excellent. All right. Yeah, compact camera is definitely making a comeback. Definitely. James says, I'm very happy with OMR Mark 1. Definitely lets me get the shots I'm looking for. I just want the ability to print larger without having to use super resolution or a similar upscaler. All right. Well, I'm not happy with OMR Mark 1. That's why I'm using EMR Mark II as my main camera. Thank you so much, James. Appreciate the kind words. Yeah. What makes eBay unsafe in Malaysia? I don't know. Like, there's no guarantee that it will reach Malaysia, right? Yeah, you are not buying from Malaysia. Like Shopee, you're buying from Malaysia. So yeah. Nan says, thank you. I agree. No worries. Anthony says, I want to see a new OMR Mark III with minimum of 25. No, 25 is not enough. We need 33. Or at least 30. 30 will be a good compromise. Yeah. Oh, R7 has image stabilization, so I'm wrong about that. Canon R7 image stabilization. All right, cool. R7 has image stabilization. All right, cool. I stand corrected. So Manuel says, capture card can also be like a small console or PCB adapter to your motherboard price PCI slot. All right. Great shots, Robin. I can imagine my own face being reshaped by someone's punch. No worries, no worries. Stating that is stupid equates to seeing it from only one side. I have payment plans for statues, and surely others will say it's stupid and useless. It's called being enthusiastic. No, I mean like, yeah, I get what you mean, right? He's entitled to his opinion. It's just that I don't see why the tech companies should stop chasing tech. They should improve, right? Like, we want Panasonic and OM Digital Solutions, Micro Four Thirds in general, to get better, right? We want them to improve. I thought that's what we all generally agree, right? Or we want them to stop and just say, okay, they give up and just close shop. Is that what we want? No, right? All right, I'll put a pause here. Let me drink some coffee, and then still have some coffee, maybe some water, and then there's a second set of photographs I want to share before we close off the night. Okay, water. Gotta stay hydrated. Oh, I need a cough. Where is that? All right, sorry about that. This afternoon, I had some spare time, so I thought I have about 1 to 2 hours to kill. What would be the easiest thing to do? I've done inside macro in the past, and macro will take about 2 to 3 hours. So I only had less than 2 hours, so it wasn't enough to do macro. I don't mind doing macro again. I've been doing a lot of macro recently, but I thought of doing something different. At the park nearby, the same place I did a lot of my macro recently, is also the same park that I normally do my video, where I do my talking head shots for my main long form videos. I always notice all kinds of animals, right? There were tortoises, there were chicken, like, I'm not kidding, chicken that we normally eat, right? Chicken. There were all kinds of interesting birds, and I normally also realize that I can get quite close to them. But I never thought of just going there with a long lens and try to capture some shots. until this afternoon. I thought, okay, maybe if I were to spend 1 hour, 1.5 hour out there roaming around, let's see what kind of shots we can get. So I was keeping a fairly open mind. I did not really know what to expect. This was my first time with a long lens in the park. Normally it's with a macro lens. So my focus and the way I find my subjects was, it was very specific, right? Look at the bushes, the leaves, the branches, go really close, find all the small critters. I never care about all these bigger animals. So it was really fun. So I went out with my OM1 with the 75-300 in hopes to capture some of these cool animals. So here are the shots. All right. And we have a lizard going into the water. It was quite cool. It was quite cool. Lizard was, I think, drinking the water, right? So that's one. I've seen a lot of lizards, and the lizards are huge. They are huge, and I think if you don't look at them properly from a distance, they might look like crocodiles. They're not crocodiles. They're just lizards. Yeah. And of course, there are a lot of dragonflies, and I can't get close. And this one thing I realized: the 75-300 Mark II. Doesn't allow you to go very close. In comparison to the old Zuiko DSLR lens, I used to have that lens, the 70-300 f4-5.6. That lens allows you to go really close, almost like a macro lens. And you can't do that with the 75-300. I think maybe I should find a used 70-300 and see if I can use them for like a tele macro setup, for a cheap tele macro shooting. Yeah, I can't go closer. I wish I can go closer for this dragonfly. Same with this. I like this because I don't normally get a dragonfly against dried leaves, so it gives a very different kind of vibe. So normally I get this kind of shot where it's always green. You can see that it's in nature, a lot of grass or leaves, bushes in the background. But I've never had like a dragonfly against dried leaves in the background, which is really cool, right? So having a super long lens also compresses the background, so the background appears larger than it should be. Although the leaves are not really that large, because you're using a very long lens shooting from a distance, it just makes the background look so much larger than they actually are. So yeah, I just love the brownish, warmer tone of the background. And background is very important for photography. A lot of people don't realize that, or don't even pay attention much to what their background contributes to their photographs. So I guess the important tip I want to share tonight is that, hey, pay attention to your background, right? It can make or break your shot. I found a bird. This was blue-tailed bee-eater. Blue-tailed bee-eater. And it was very, very high up on the tree. I was shooting against a bright sky. Not the best situation. Not really sharp. If I zoom in, you'll see that it's actually a bit mushy. Again, I'm not using the best lens for bird photography. It was a humble budget 75-300. That's like cheapest birding lens that you can find. But I thought the shot was okay. Not the best shot that can win any awards or anything. But it was fine, right? And sometimes, like when we go out and shoot, it's not just about finding the wow shots or the winning shots. Sometimes just look for something interesting, something unusual, something that catches your attention. Same principles applies for my street photography. Whenever I see something that catches my attention, something that makes me look at it twice, something that, hey, makes me smile, like this yellow leaf, it just pops out, right? It just immediately stands out. So I just capture it, right? So to make it a little bit more interesting, I have the branch in front of me from a tree as a foreground. So you have that clear, a very nice blur bokeh in the foreground. Then you have the second layer with the leaf and another smaller branch and the blur background. So you have like multiple layers to lead the attention into the yellow leaf. And the yellow leaf itself is very interesting. It's like so bright, it just calls out to you immediately. So yeah. And a different lizard, I think same type, different lizard, another lizard. This is larger. And I noticed that the tongue keeps coming out. And I didn't realize that it was blue in color, because when I see, obviously the lizard was very far away because I was using a 75-300 lens. I zoom in all the way to the longest end, 300. So I captured this lizard, and the tongue from where I was seeing, it's just black, right? It's just dark, and it was so fast. It's not like the tongue just stays like that. You can look at it. It was so fast, so I just click and I look at it. Wow, it's blue in color. It has blue tongue, which is really, really cool. Right? Yeah. Later, I'll zoom into the photographs so you guys can see it a little bit better. And yeah, and this is the butterfly again. I wish that the 75-300 can go much closer, but you cannot go closer with this lens, unfortunately. This is the best I can do, but hey, it just forces you to compose things a little bit differently. And I like that with the long lens, I can play with the background a little bit. Like here, again, I have the dried leaves and branches in the background, so the brown, warm colors immediately make the yellow and the green leaves pop out immediately. So using colors to isolate the subject is one of the important techniques you can use to make your photographs more interesting. Yeah. Honeybee, Australian honeybee, right? Normally I can go so much closer with my macro lens. I can't. This is the limit of it. And this could have been a better photograph if the yellow leaf on the left was not chewed off by whatever that chewed it off. Because you have all different sets of colors, right? You have the very light green at the far right. You have darker shades of green in the middle. And then it slowly turns to yellow at the end. On the left, like you have the transition of all the different colors. It's just that the last leaf, the one that is in yellow or red, it's already in red, right? Or orange red, it's beaten off like by whatever, insects, whatever. It's kind of sad because it would have been like a perfect set. But anyway, things like this, it attracts my attention and it's worth taking photograph of. It doesn't matter if it doesn't win a National Geographic contest or it's not going to be published anywhere or not going to be exhibited by some, a fancy art gallery. Who cares? It's my photograph. I like it anyway. I celebrate colors. I love looking at patterns and leaves and I appreciate nature, right? Yeah. And again, a butterfly from a far, far distance. I just have to compose this very, very differently, right? And a bird, boo-boo. People say like, Robin, you shouldn't just be shooting your birds at the bird park, right? All the birds are so near, right? This was actually one of the birds in the bird park and it's available in the wild. Surprised! I've shot this so many times in the bird park. Yeah, the bird park, you're cheating. You go so near to the bird. In the wild, it's so far away. Well, guess what? I get close enough. And I fit like almost the entire frame with the bird. The bird moved position. Like, like the bird park is not a good representation of how you can capture the birds in the wild. Well, guess what? I know this is not the wild. I'm not going. Well, guess what? I went to South Africa before. I have captured shots of birds in the wild. And I can get this close as well. Not all the birds, like I know some of the birds are very skittish. They are very, very far away. But hey, there are many, many, many birds you can get this close or even closer. And the birds are not scared of human. Like seriously, I'm not kidding. Like people keep saying that, like your tests are not valid. Here you go. Valid or not? Close enough or not? You want me to go closer? I guess I have to use 100 to 400, right? This I shot with 75-300 and the 100-400 I can attach teleconverters. I can just zoom all the way to the head if I want to, right? Same bird, just the bird was going to fly away already just before the bird flew away. I got the last shot here. Yeah, this is boo-boo. I don't know, is it spectacled boo-boo or some Asian variant of a boo-boo? Yeah, a very cool looking flower. It is very, very high up. I was shooting from bottom up. It's on a tree. I've never seen this flower before. I don't know what flower this is. I thought it was very cool. It was red, yellow, green, very nice combination of colors and some bokeh bowls in the background, all right? And we have a magpie robin. Robin shooting a robin. Not the perfect shot because the face is partially covered by the branch in front. As I tried to adjust myself, I moved myself to the right, the bird flew away. I only had one shot with this. Not the best shot, but who cares? I'm not a birder. I'm not going to submit this to competition. I saw the bird. I'm very happy that I can get this close. Close enough, right? Same as the shots I got from my bird park, right? Have I proven myself? It wasn't just a bird. And I was out for that 1 hour walk. It was a very short walk. I got all these shots. And half of the time I was shooting the dragonflies, the lizards. I wasn't even focusing on these birds. So, good enough for me to say, hey, the test at my bird park was valid, right? Let's say, oh, Robin, you're cheating. Bird park, of course the birds are not afraid of human. You can get close. This magpie robin gets really close. Like, it wasn't afraid of me, right, or anything. I don't know what this is, but it looks really cool. It looks like the hair of the Predator, the Alien versus Predator, the hair. Anyway. And a jumping spider. Oh, this jumping spider looks so cool. And that's the moment I realized that I should have brought my macro set up. But then again, if I was shooting macro, I wouldn't be shooting all these other shots that you've seen, right? The birds, the lizards, and all the leaves, right? Like, I want to do something different. I don't want to do like same thing repeatedly every week. But oh, this jumping spider. If I have the 60, I would have filled the entire frame with it. Because this jumping spider is not that tiny. It was one of the larger ones. Yeah. And a caterpillar. And this caterpillar was really cool because it was sort of a little bit backlit. But I know it's not really backlit if you look at it this way. It's from the side. But it's enough that the light sort of like made the white fur, this is what we call fur, shine. It just sort of glows. It's really nice. I can't get any closer. This is the closest I can get. Yeah, and I like this shot because the butterfly was on a large patch of leaf, and the leaf itself separates the butterfly from the messy background. It's sort of like a framing by itself. The leaf frames the butterfly. Yeah, so it's really cool. And this is the last shot. Oh, this was like, this butterfly was flying and flying and flying and flying and flying. I was like, please land somewhere. As it was coming down, I was like, oh, please land with the background, with that red log as a background, right? The cut off log as a background. It did. I was like, ah! It was so nice because like normally we get greens as a background. So whenever I get like different colors from a background, especially if it's natural, like this tree that was being chopped with the natural brown reddish color, it's just nice. Just really nice. All right, I'm gonna go and find, because I shut down my computer, so I have closed off some important windows. Let me find the images again so that I can share the full size with you guys. All right. Okay, so here it is. I think I need to hide my taskbar first. Give me a moment so you can see, appreciate the full size of it. Okay, here we are. To show that I'm not lying, file info, I know that the fonts are very tiny, but it's OM1 at 300 millimeters, right? f6.7, ISO 200, 1/160th of a second for this shot, right? I'm gonna go full screen. This is OM1. Right, and we go punch in 100%. And look at the reflection in the water. It's so cool. It's so cool. Look at that. Right. Right. I'm not going to show every photograph because it's going to take a lot of time. There's no point showing this because I can get better shots of this with my macro lens, and my macro lens will be definitely sharper than the 75-300. Right. Another shot of the lizard. Just want to zoom in to see the details. I know 75-300 is not the sharpest lens. It's a budget lens. I know. Like, you know, get better lens like a pro lens, right? 300 f4 Pro, or like you get like 150-400, you're gonna get better shot. But come on, like if you're not earning money from wildlife photography, if you're not paid to do an assignment, I thought this is pretty good for a cheap 75-300 lens. Like the only thing I wish is better, the only thing is close-up performance. That's it. Everything else, I thought the lens is superb. Look at that, right? Yeah, and just a little bit of see the butterfly, right? Look at the details on the wing and everything. I thought it looks pretty cool, right? Bee, leaves, another butterfly, right? That looks pretty good. Still looks pretty good after I zoom in. Look at the details and everything. It still looks pretty good. All right, and the bubble, and ta-da! They say, oh, but Robin, the shot that you did in the bird park, all the details, all the sharpness is fake. You can't get the same thing in the wild. Yeah, whatever. I've done it in South Africa and I can do it in Malaysia. If I really spend time going birding, I can get the same shots. But here's the thing, right? I spend 1 hour and I get like a few shots of the birds. If I were to get all the birds that I got from the bird park, normally I get like 40-50 shots, right? Maybe not unique birds. Sometimes I shoot one bird, I take multiple shots to test like image stabilization, sharpness at different focal lengths, whatever. If I were to get that kind of variety, I would have to spend like days, 5 days maybe, like spend 4-5 hours per day to get the shots, right? So I spend 5 days, and each day I spend like 4-5 hours at different locations to get these different varieties of shots. And that's if I'm lucky, I get all these shots. Why don't I just go to the bird park and get all these shots? It's the same anyway, right? It's the same. Yeah. Look at the details, like crazy. I know this is slightly out of focus of the head. I don't really care. Like, I'm not gonna, nobody's paying me to get this shot, right? It's slightly, but it's good enough. Slightly out of focus, so it's good enough because it's shooting up, right? It's shooting all the way up. So yeah, and this is in focus. This is in perfect focus. Look at that. Look at the details. Oh, but all the thing that you get in the bird park is fake. Oh, yeah, whatever. Yeah. And this flower is pretty cool. And if you look at the underneath it, there's like an ant, there's a beetle. I don't know what this is. Up here, this could be an insect as well. Up here as well, like, I don't know what's inside here. Could be some insects. I can't get here because this is like all the way up. It's on top of a tree. I have to climb the tree if I want to get this with a macro lens. I can't. So yeah, magpie robin, right? I don't know what this is. Looks edible though. I don't know if I'll die if I eat this. And jumping spider, right? Yeah, and last shot. Ah, I love this shot. Look at that. Yeah, look at that. This was a large butterfly, so I can get this large magnification. This was not a small butterfly. So there you go. My second set of photographs for tonight. I hope you guys enjoyed that. Let me settle the taskbar first. Close this, close that. And yep, that's it. All right, let me drink some coffee. Still some coffee left. It's 1 minute past midnight. I'm gonna read the rest of the chat and we'll call it a night. Hope you guys enjoyed the second set of photographs. More water. All right. Okay. And Treat says, I find Micro Four Thirds is great for macro more than full frame. Micro Four Thirds definitely has a place. Definitely. But if that's the only advantage, then I think Micro Four Thirds is going to be in danger because not many people does macro, right? I mean, a lot of people do people photography, lifestyle, casual events, or vlogging, content creating. People do a lot of different kinds of photography, right? Street documentary, so yeah, still life, food photography, for example. So if macro is the only thing that's great, then Micro Four Thirds is in trouble. PJA says, when we buy a camera, meaning we invest in the ecosystem, we hope OM and Panasonic can work together, utilize the strength and make a great product. I don't know why they don't work together. It's like they are competing with each other, which doesn't make any sense at all. They should work together more closely, right? I agree with you. Gregory says, you are not just a practical person, you are an engineer. Most people will never understand. Tona says, well, some of the backgrounds on these shots are awesome. I've mentioned this already when I was sharing the photographs. It's very important to pay attention to the background. The background will make or break your shot. And when you're using a tele lens, a very long lens, even if you turn the lens a little bit, you have a completely different background already. That's why I love using long lenses, because it's easier to create cleaner shots. It's easier to control your background compared to if you're using a wider lens. People don't understand that. I like to compose with 50 in comparison with 35 or 24, because 50 allows me to get a tighter background. Yeah, that's for street photography, by the way. Sorry about this, the blackout. The blackout is getting a bit more frequent, yeah? I don't know what happened. John says, still a huge Micro Four Thirds fan, but I'm also nervous. The computational photography is excellent, but I'm missing the kind of innovation that Olympus is famous for. It seems like they're not even innovating much, right? Hopefully the R&D can give us some surprises next year. Andrew says, I can't compare a Sony R camera to a Micro Four Thirds. John says, I have a Fuji GFX 100 RF now in addition, but I love what I get from my OM1 so much that I don't want to make any switches. All right, if you're happy with OM1, that's great. Someone says, Canon R7 is a beast of a wildlife camera. All right. And that's kind of sad, right? Like, hey, you know, we are marketing OM Digital Solutions as, you know, the wildlife camera. And then suddenly someone says, hey, Canon R7 does wildlife as well. It's an excellent camera. Wait, does that leave Micro Four Thirds? Oh my goodness, the blackout is getting very frequent. I think it's a sign that we have to stop this very, very soon. Klaus says, I like the Live ND and Great ND and want that, but I'm not sure if I will need it. I don't like it. The Live ND has so many limitations. I've talked about this before recently, and I get a lot of flack for that. I don't know, I'm just sharing the truth, right? And the Great ND results have been very disappointing. I look at all what's being posted by the ambassadors and the examples on the OM Digital Solutions website. It looks so fake. Like someone just artificially darkened half of the frame. It looks just so fake. It's not natural at all. So yeah, I would rather not use them and use an actual physical ND. Simon says it was fire and water. Okay. Claude says, I hope I can make webcam audio work. Anyone is welcome to tune in to the unboxings. All right, all right. I think the best solution is to use capture card and an external microphone. That's my recommendation to you. Roger says, do you recommend any Four Thirds to Micro Four Thirds adapter brand that performs the best? I don't even know what brand I use. There's no brand. I just bought one. It's a no brand, China made, something very cheap. It works so far, so no worries. Sarvin says, no problem, but I wanted to test the two cameras together as soon as I got the OM3, hearing so much about the autofocus here, and I'm just not seeing it in my results. The ZF autofocus is so superior. Yeah. No worries, no worries. Hey, Serafin, if it works for you, it works for you, right? Like, you hated the 40F2 Nikon. I love it. So, obviously, we are two very different photographers. So, whatever works for you, as long as you're happy with it, hey, photography is more than just gear, right? That's my main message here as well. Joe says, I use Live ND all the time. I wish the Great ND as well. Super useful. 50% of the time, I don't need to take a tripod. I can't use Live ND for my video. Like, it's not available for video. I still need to use a physical ND filter for all the videos that you see me make for my YouTube channel, which is like every week there's a new video, right? Every single time I have to use a physical filter, switch on and off on my lens, right? So to me, it's totally useless. So yeah. Thomas says, Micro Four Thirds progress in 2025 was basically non-existent other than the 50-200. F2.8, OM3 and OM5 Mark II are repackaged cameras. No reason to buy a new Micro Four Thirds camera. I disagree. I think OM3 is not a repackaged camera just because it has the same internals as OM1. That doesn't make it a bad camera. I'd rather have it to have the same internals as OM1 but in a different body shape. I thought it looks great, right? But of course, I prefer it if they have a better electronic viewfinder. It doesn't have to have the same viewfinder as the OM1, OM1 Mark II, but maybe a slightly better one than what they have now. Claude says, I wanted to adapt my old OM lens on a Pan F. What are your thoughts on that? No autofocus, no go for Robin. Gotutraf says, hello from Germany. Hey, how are you? Nice to see you here. Simon says, well, the problem for Micro Four Thirds in 2025 is full frame is so cheap now, and lenses for full frame, like full set of f1.8 lenses, are so cheap as well. I agree. Rich says, it's so far behind current camera releases, just switch to EM5 Mark III. So I've got a long time to go before Micro Four Thirds starts to feel tired. No worries, no worries. EM5 Mark III is a great camera. All right, I have caught up with all the chat, I think. And it is already 8 minutes past midnight. Let's read one more, which says, I was thinking of going to full frame and upgrading, but the extra size and cost of the lenses made it a big no. Not really. The size, have you seen the latest Micro Four Thirds cameras? OM3, OM1, G9 Mark II, GH7, they are larger than full frame mirrorless cameras. And they are also more expensive than full frame cameras. Full frame cameras are getting cheaper and smaller than Micro Four Thirds. So if you haven't seen them, maybe you should check out the newer cameras. They are not what people think. Full frame cameras are not larger and they are not more expensive than Micro Four Thirds. All right, that's it. I hope you guys have enjoyed tonight's conversation. Definitely, I think Micro Four Thirds need to do more, and we hope that they'll pay attention to what we have been giving them, the feedback, and they'll listen to the customers more, and I hope that they take things more seriously and really pay more attention to the products that they launch or the strategy that they'll do next year in 2026. I hope Micro Four Thirds will not only survive but will thrive, and they need to act now. They should not take things lightly, and I don't want Micro Four Thirds to give up, and I don't want them to disappear, right? That's not our wish. I hope they do well. All right, I hope you guys have enjoyed the photo sharing as well. There are 2 sets. If you guys have missed it, there's an earlier set of the Muay Thai fight that I've shared, which I've taken several years ago with the EMR Mark II and 40-150 with a teleconverter, or the 12-40 when I got close to the ring. There was also the second set, which I've just shared, which was me going to the park with the OM1 and 75-300. All right, that's it. I hope you guys have a good weekend, and please go out and take more photographs. Until the next one, take care. Bye-bye.